What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Today we're looking at the top 5 biggest editing mistakes in TV shows. Now we did this with movies a couple weeks ago, and it was a serious hit for our channel, so I thought you guys would want to watch like a TV part. With that said, if you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Let's see if we can smash 5,000 likes on this video, but with that said, let's get right into it. Number 5. Friends. Okay, now the bigger a shoot gets, the more mistakes get made, and Friends is literally one of the biggest sitcoms of all time. I mean, when you think about how many scenes they had to shoot and how many takes they did of each, it's not really surprising that some mistakes slip through. With that said, once you know what to look for, this mistake is pretty obvious, and I don't know about you, but it completely took me out of the scene. Basically, Joey's trying to find the hot girl's apartment, so he's counting the floors of Ross's building, which sounds weird, but I promise, it makes sense if you watch the episode. Anyway, he's wearing a black zipped up shirt, but when he walks up to Ross's door, it's suddenly purple. However, as soon as Ross opens the door, it swaps back to being black, and all happens so quickly that it's pretty easy to miss.
Hey, Joey. Great stuff, huh?
Number 4. The Simpsons. Now I'll be honest, even I didn't catch a mistake in this clip when I first watched it, which is crazy because the mix-up they made is actually pretty huge. Basically, Bart and Milhouse are both watching Homer, but it's Lewis you really need to be watching because something weird happens to him as the scene goes on. I mean, while he's watching his friends talk, and even while he's speaking, he is definitely black, but as soon as the scene cuts from Milhouse to the whole group, he's suddenly like yellow. It's obviously not part of the plot unless they were going for some crazy Christmas miracle, so either one of the artists was trying to mess with us, or he was just falling asleep at his desk. Either way, it's one of those mistakes you really can't see until somebody points it out, but when you watch it back, you can't believe you missed it.
Hey, I can afford lunch. Give me a bite of that donut.
Get a load of that quote-unquote Santa.
I can't believe those kids are falling for it. Hey, Milhouse, I dare you to sit on his lap.
Oh, yeah? Well, I dare you to yank his beard off.
Ah, touche. I hope you feel better, Santa.
Oh, I will when Mrs. Claus's sisters get out of town.
Number 3. So Breaking Bad is considered one of the best made television shows of all time, so I think it's actually pretty nice to know that even they screwed up a couple of times. Like, there are a few mistakes in the show, but in the episode Mandala in season 2, there's a mistake that almost completely wrecks the realism, which kinda makes me not want to tell you. Anyway, they almost make it all the way through the episode without a mess up, but then at the end when Walter breaks into Jesse's house to steal his product, there's something hiding in the kitchen. Like, it's a pretty tense scene, but it's kinda spoiled by the crew member hiding in the background, especially since he's just peeking around the corner while Walter runs past the fridge. I'm not even sure how this happened, like there's no reason for him to be in the shop, but now he's a part of the episode forever. Honestly though, I find it kinda cool, like imagine being able to point to someone in the background of an episode and say, yeah, that's me, like that'd be so awesome. Number 2. Now it's actually cheating a little bit to call this one a mistake, but the story behind how it ended up in the episode is pretty funny, so we just had to leave it in. So basically the editing team caught this mistake when they're putting together the DVD, but they actually decided to leave it in to see if anyone watching at home would notice. Now obviously people did because it's now a movie mistake list all over the internet, but it's a fun little Easter egg for anyone who knows a lot about the show. So what you gotta do is watch Lois, because when the kid shouts at her after the bow is put on the present, you can see a crew member ducking out of shot. Apparently, he's actually giving her the red dress because it was his job to keep it in a bucket of water until they film the scene. I mean, he actually does a good job of getting out of the way of the camera, but he just wasn't quick enough so everyone including me noticed.
Finished. Finally.
No! I was supposed to do the poll.
Well, you should have said something.
I'm telling Mom! No!
Fire?
dangerous thing you have ever done!
Okay, here's your honorable mention. Let's face it wouldn't be a TV show mistakes list if we didn't include a Game of Thrones scene, because any show with that many characters, settings, and plot lines is bound to trip up sometimes. To be fair, they do a pretty good job of keeping mistakes to a minimum, which is probably why they've won so many awards, but don't worry, sometimes a little detail does slip through. The background behind this one is that Catelyn is meeting up with Robb's forces, but what you really need to watch is her hands while she's talking to her son. Like at first her hand is on his face and his chest, but when the camera switches to over her shoulder, her hand is suddenly by her side mid-sentence. See what I mean? It's a tiny detail, but once you know about it, there's no way to unsee it, so you're welcome, I guess.
I remember the day you came into this world, red-faced and scrawny. And now I find you leading a host to war.
There was no one else.
No one? Who were those men I saw here?
None of them are Starks.
All of them are seasoned in battle, leading a host to war.
There was no one else.
No one? Who were those men I saw here?
None of them are Starks.
All of them are seasoned in battle.
Number 1. To be honest, magic glass mistakes are pretty much everywhere on TV and movies because it's really hard to get the same amount of liquid in the glass each time when you're doing tons and tons of takes. With that said, in this scene, the lack of water is actually a pretty important plot point, so you think the crew be a bit more careful when it comes to keeping things consistent. I mean, when Schofield has water poured into his glass, it's barely a quarter full, which is what makes the scene so depressing. However, whenever we see him next, it looks like he has a pretty good amount of water in his glass, meaning either he magically filled it or there was a mistake. Like even when he's sipping it, his glass is totally half full, and after watching it back so many times, it's almost impossible to miss it. Either way, let me know right now in the comments which one of these shows are your favorite. I'd really love to hear your thoughts.
You're the man, bro.
How long has the water been out?
Since riots last year. Government blame us. They say, screw you, you break it. No water.
Gracias. Gracias.
Hey! Hey!
And there's our video on the top 5 biggest editing mistakes in TV shows. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe so you see whenever we upload a video. Also, if you have your own top 5 or top 10 idea, feel free to search me a handy form in the description to submit it. With that said, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.